has changed a lot.
Well, hello, I'm Tina Kadish, and I am so excited to have Karen Harkins here in our Inner Circle community. She's one of our members, and I do these member spotlight interviews with our community members because I want to really showcase our members and, share their brilliance, share their expertise, create that visibility for them so that other people get to know them better. So that's the goal for today. And Karen, thank you so much for being here. Karen Harkins is the owner of Magical Mystical Miniature Gardens. She's also an author, but I'm going to leave it to Karen to share more in depth about her magical mystical gardens. And that is so unique. Karen, when I first met you and you shared what you do, I was like, what is that? So tell us a little bit more about that, Karen.
Well, thank you, Tina, and thank you for having me here today. I believe that you empower yourself, and magical things is everyone's fantasy, whether you like to go to the beach and watch the sunrise or go to the mountaintop and have a campfire. It's still a visual fantasy until you actually make it happen. So, what I like to do is give you a garden of fantasy to visualize to help you create your reality.
I love that. So you know how we create vision boards, that we bring pictures on board and we really want we have that visual, but you're actually creating this tangible garden that
Right.
people can create from their fantasy. So for example, for me, like I love the ocean. The
Mhm.
ocean for me is that serene escape, getting away, sitting on a chair, reading a book, and just watching the ocean. So that's something that in my fantasy, I would love to own a home that I look at the ocean every single day. So that's one of my dreams that I want to
Yes.
manifest. So are you saying that you would create a garden based on
I
what
would
I
create a
just sharing?
garden with your house next to the beach, with you looking out on the beach or on the beach, so that you could visualize it until you make it happen. Even if it's just a dream home that you go spend the summers and come back to where you live for the winter, or go there for the winter during the off season, and rent your house out during the summer to pay for it.
I love
You know,
that.
come up with all kinds of ideas.
I love that. So how did you get started in this? Like when was the turning point that like you wanted to do this?
The turning point was when I lost my partner of 17 years, and I was in a fantasy world that he was still here, and he wasn't.
Okay.
And I had to come out of that quickly, which I did. But I like the magical feeling of
Mm,
having him still here with me and looking over my shoulder and guiding me like he always had. And it just can't, he was a Georgia Bulldog fan, and we had this little Georgia Bulldog gnome,
mm.
and it fell and it broke. And I went to put it back together and I couldn't. So I made one, and that's how it all started.
That is so beautiful. And so tell us a little bit. So who do you serve? So is it anyone who really wants to create this fantasy, or do you work with women only? Tell us a little bit about more the people you've worked with.
I work with people who want to reaffirm their belief in themselves
Okay.
so that they can dream big and have successes and take those risks and turn those setbacks into growth, into
Mm,
opportunities, so that they don't forget who they are, or actually find out who they are, because some of us don't know.
mm,
I work with people who have a problem forgiving themselves because they blame themselves for everything, even though it's not their fault.
mm,
Um, so I teach them how to forgive yourself, because what you did in the past was what you knew how to do.
mm.
And you have to remember that that taught you something. And if you keep repeating the same mistake, then you didn't learn. So you continue forward, and that's what mistakes are about, or to teach you to grow and move forward. And sometimes we forget that we hold the power to shape our future, to shape our reality. And I'm just here to help people remember and remind them that, they have the power, they have the magic within them.
Mm.
They can do whatever they want, but sometimes we just need a little guidance, a little push, a little nudge, a little help remembering.
And a little magical garden because you bring someone like this. Like, I'm just trying to think right now, someone comes to you with this, the forgiving, the unforgiving, and things like that. So you work with them in creating this visual fantasy to help them, right? To get out of this.
Correct,
I love it.
correct.
Love it.
I get to know them just like you were telling me about your house on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, we would delve a little deeper. Why do you want that house on the beach? What do you feel when you see yourself at your house on the beach? We dive a little deeper to figure out why you
Mm.
want the house on the beach. And sometimes that house on the beach turns into something else.
Okay. Okay. I
But that's
love
what
that.
we do. And we manifest that into a garden so that you can see it. And, sometimes we swap out those gardens because your dreams change.
That
And
is
that's not a problem. That's part of the growth cycle. So it just depends on where you are and where you want to go. And, my goal is to get you there as quickly as possible. Not to dally, not to linger, not to stay in the self-doubt, to get more into the self-belief, to get you where you want to go. And then you can move on to bigger, better dreams.
I love that. I love that. And so, as I'm hearing you, when I was in my career transition, in my corporate career, and my
Mhm.
fantasy, my dream was to be an entrepreneur. So I just can visualize right now the garden on what I probably would have created, and
Mhm.
that having that, it would be a reminder to me of what I wanted to manifest. And I love that. So do you do any parties? Like, how we do vision board parties, sessions? Do you do things like that? Like, have
I
you done
can,
anything?
yes, I have done to where we kind of like a twist and sip, or but
Yes.
a magical garden uh fantasy. We call it fantasy loft.
Hmm.
And you decide, and you can pick from pre-made stuff that has already been made and make your garden, or you can make your own creatures, magical creatures that you want, dragons or dinosaurs or
Okay.
whatever you may want,
Hmm.
fairies, gnomes, unicorns, whatever, because it's whatever you want to represent you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a dinosaur or dragon or gnome. It's whatever you choose to represent you in that moment, in that magical moment of fantasy, to where that's who you are. So you could be, a gnome on the beach, or a fairy in the mountains, or
Hmm.
it just depends on what you want to do. And then, and you leave with your garden.
I love that. So what are you currently working on? Is there anything particular you're working on for someone right now?
Um, well, I am working on a beach scene right now. Can you see?
Yes, I can see
Um,
it a little bit. Yep. Plant.
okay.
Okay.
There's a plant, and there's a
Yes.
little gnome here with drinking a drink with his little surfboard.
Okay.
And it's for a gentleman who wants to live on the beach. And that he wanted something small that he could sit on his desk and look at every day, and people would talk about it, and every time someone would ask about it, or will ask about it, it just reinforces what he wants to do.
I love
So
that. I love that. So how can people connect with you to learn more about you? Do you have a website that people can go
the
to?
website, it's M3 for the magical mystical miniature gardens, M3 dot M3 M3gardens.com.
m3gardens.com. Okay, that's great. m3gardens.com is the best way to connect with you, or are you on Facebook or LinkedIn?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. M3 Gardens M3 Gardens on Facebook, M3 Gardens on Instagram, and Karen Harkins on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. I love that. So, everyone who's listening here, connect with Karen and, let's unlock the magic
Yes.
that we want to create because I think it's so powerful as we think about what do we want to bring into our universe, our space right now, as like we're wrapping up 2024, we're ending the year and we're thinking of 2025. What is it that we want to bring into 2025? I
Mhm.
see all these different mystical gardens that Karen can create for you or your team. I also see you going into companies and having a team building activity. That could be a thought. I'm just putting it out there because I see this as a team
I can
building.
see that. Yes.
I just see that happening, because I do a lot of vision mapping workshops, but I see you doing these mystical garden activities and helping people really unlocking their magic and creating that fantasy that they desire. And, being in a job, being in their businesses, business owners, I see you creating these for them. So I just wanted to put that out there because as you're talking, I'm thinking of other places that you can do that because we keep it locked up in here sometimes and we're not creating these visuals because visualization is a powerful tool. It's something that we got to see it, okay? We got to, to bring it. We got to see it. We got to believe in what we want to, create. So, does that make sense, Karen?
Oh, definitely. But that's the whole power to shape your own reality is what you have within. And
Yes,
if it stays inside you, it doesn't go anywhere. You
exactly.
have to bring it out. You have to let it shine, which that's how you shine and, make your life the reality you want it to be.
That's right. That's right. It's just like authors, like because you're also an author as well, and of children's books. So why don't you tell us a little about your books?
I am writing a series of books. It's called The Whispering Woods, and it's about a little boy and his dad who go camping. And the first book is, it's rain. They're setting up camp and it's raining, and the little boy wakes up and has to go potty. So he goes off and he gets lost, and he finds these wonderful creatures along the way that help guide him back. And then, so it's a series of books. It's wonderful. It's based off my own children and their fantasies because we didn't really go camping, but we camped out in the living room and
Mm,
we told stories and we had fun and it was wonderful. So
I
I
love
have
it.
a son and a grandson, so it's kind of, based on them. And so it just, I'm working on a series. There's one book out now. The second one will be out by Thanksgiving. And the third one will be out for Christmas.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations, Karen. You're doing such a unique business. I've never heard of these mystical gardens until you joined our
Well,
community, and I had never seen something like that. And I've been seeing some of your work. I've been on your website, and it's very unique type of business, but it begins from the inner, like, really from within, like you just said, and and you're helping them to get it out there. I
it
just
is. And on the website, if you see something that relates to you, it may not be available, but I will make one that you pick. I will make it according to that plan for
Yeah,
you because everything I make is unique and different. You won't find two
the same.
exactly alike. They
Exactly.
might be similar because people, some of us, I mean, this is a big, huge world, and some of us have the same dreams, but they affect us differently. So each one is unique to you.
Very
So
true, very true. Well, thank you, Karen, for being here today, and hope that people connect with you. And just everybody listening here, just reach out to Karen and see what magic she can create for you.
thank you so much, Tina. I enjoyed being here and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, me too. Thank you.